End here. Order. Yes, Kakai Bissau, what is your point of order? Minister, go hold your horses. I've given the floor to Bissau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Sitting here and listening at the way the two ministers are answering these questions, first of all, we have to remember that on that particular day, our country was under attack. And in fact, we thank you for coming together because now you give an impression that at least you're coordinating issues. But before that, we thought that you're completely not coordinating issues. What I want to say, Mr. Speaker, the CS Internal Security talked about it happened on the first day, they investigated on the second day, on the third day. That shows a lot of laxity. We cannot have such an issue where we are under attack. It takes 3 days and we are saying we investigated. I know technology is moving at a very fast pace. And this is not the first or the last time. We're going to have most of these things happening. So what I would like the ministers to tell us, what are the mitigation measures you are putting in place so that when we have another technology attack, we are able to ensure that Kenyans are not suffering. And remember, those that were affected mostly were the people under the pyramid because there was some token given to them. So tell us what you're going to put in place to mitigate this. And lastly, we would like the perpetrators to be tabled and made it public. Thank you.
Kangoko Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the confusion we saw between the two cabinet secretaries, Mr. Speaker, is again has been brought to this house. Mr. Speaker, I would suggest it this way, Honorable Speaker. In fact, the more they explain to us or they answer these questions, the more we are confused. Mr. Speaker, I would suggest if you give them more time, they go and reconcile their thoughts. At the same time, they look at the facts and then bring a correct information to this house, Mr. Speaker. Because from the start of this session, Mr. Speaker, the cabinet secretaries, they have been taking us around. At one point, they are saying the companies are not registered. And at another point, they are saying they are registered, but only for data collections. Mr. Speaker, we are not going to get correct answers from the cabinet secretaries now. I would ask that, Mr. Speaker, you direct that they go back and they bring us a correct and satisfactory answers.
All honorable members, for avoidance of doubt, honorable ministers, the Companies Act, Section 974, says as follows. A foreign company shall not carry on business in Kenya unless on business in Kenya, unless, it's repeated, it is registered under this part or it has applied to be so registered and the application is pending. So what Worldcoin is doing is illegal, even under the Companies Act, but I agree with Kangoko Bowen that ministers, you can see and feel, you can stop disparaging our ministers. You can see and feel the representatives of the people from where they sit. And I think this was captured by Makali Mulu. What has the mining of Kenyans' iris got to do with cryptocurrency? I think that is the issue. And that you are investigating, I'll give because like the young MP from John Paul, you are from Igembe, has been agitatingly coming to whisper to me that KICC is a government property. Who licensed these people to have long queues of Kenyans on government premises? Those are some of the questions MPs were asking, and I would want to encourage you as our ministers to account to the people of Kenya through their representatives in this House to get out to the bottom of this matter. And I also encourage you, ministers, that your multi-agency investigation team seem to include the Data Protection Commission, which actually gave authority to these people to do what they were doing, so they cannot possibly investigate themselves. And therefore, I would encourage you that for purposes of impartiality and openness, you may have to exclude them from your multi-agency team because you might find them culpable as well. I want us to end here so that we get in the Minister for Defense. Ministers, you are released to go. You will come back next Wednesday. And the next time you come, I encourage you, because harmonize your thinking so that when you come, we have at least one of you speaking on behalf of both of you. Professor Kindiki?
Sorry, Speaker, to